Elon Musk emphasized the critical need for nickel in 2020 and pushed mining firms all over the world to extract as much of the metal as they could. Conversely, as demand for electric vehicles has increased, the supply of nickel has been steadily declining. Greetings to all, and thanks for returning to Everything Tesla stock. Increasing car production and cutting expenses as much as possible are two of Tesla's top priorities. A key obstacle to reaching this aim has been the supply of raw materials, among a number of other production-related issues. Because of a shortage of essential raw materials like nickel, lithium, and cobalt, which are used to produce batteries for electric cars, EV manufacturers had difficulty meeting demand earlier this year. Experts claim that the lack of nickel is not due to a lack of supply, but rather to insufficient mining from facilities that are hard to come by and are unable to handle the kind of nickel required for electric car batteries. Tesla has been looking for sources for its nickel supply in an attempt to close the gap and obtain more nickel for its batteries. How can this action support increasing Tesla's vehicle production? We're going to find out shortly. Before we begin, though, please remember to subscribe to the channel, enable notifications, and stay up to speed with all that is happening in the Tesla world if you enjoy this kind of content. And don't forget to like us. A while back, Elon Musk encouraged miners to mine more nickel and offered a massive contract to the first person to accomplish so in an environmentally friendly and sustainable manner. This was an attempt to locate a reliable supply of nickel for Tesla, given the metal's diminishing availability, because nickel is a necessary component of lithium-ion batteries, which power electric vehicles. Car makers are able to utilize less cobalt, which is more expensive and has a less transparent supply chain. The main obstacle here is that there aren't enough planned mining projects to take advantage of this untapped raw material, which is ready to go even if there is enough nickel to allow a significant ramp-up in EVs. Furthermore, the high-grade nickel required to make the batteries for electric vehicles is running out due to the combination of the growing demand for electric vehicles and the dearth of fresh nickel supply. Is Tesla able to locate the necessary nickel for its vehicles? To find out, keep watching. According to John Lee, CEO of Flying Nickel, FLYN on TSXV, the company wants to rank among the most ecologically conscious nickel mining firms in the world. He went on to say that high-performance nickel batteries that power contemporary EVs are the perfect fit for the pure nickel from Minago. The company earlier in September revealed its Minago nickel sulfide project in Manitoba, Canada's Thompson nickel belt. It is anticipated to have the lowest carbon footprint in the industry. The fifth largest nickel mining zone in the world, the Thompson nickel belt is home to over 18 nickel deposits with a combined production of 6 billion pounds of nickel. The mining business declared in May that it had started a drilling campaign at this site. For the program, 7 holes overall were planned, lining up to 4980 meters of exploration and infill drilling. Tesla has access to yet another source of nickel. In addition to being crucial for supplying enough nickel to other EV manufacturers, as well as Tesla, Flying Nickel, FLYN on TSXV, offers its stockholders the potential for significant returns. Anyone looking to buy a growth stock may find it to be a worthwhile investment at the $10 starting price. FLYN, which is presently trading at 15 cents with a market cap of $12.4 million and a stock volume of 37,650, is one stock to keep an eye on. The global shortfall of high-grade nickel, as reported by Goldman Sachs in 2021, is expected to increase in 2022 or even triple to exceed 800,000 tons by 2030. Similarly, according to Mark Beveridge of Benchmark Mineral Intelligence, battery cells' nickel content is only rising because more nickel content equates to higher energy density. He also mentioned that the production of EVs is approaching a stage where 90% of the cathode for particular cell types would be nickel. In addition to the low mining rate, the Russian-Ukrainian conflict severely hindered the supply of high-grade nickel. Fears of supply interruptions sparked by the invasion of Ukraine drove prices to all-time highs, to the extent that the London Metal Exchange had to halt nickel trade for a week. Beveridge claims that the nickel scarcity is having, and will probably continue to have, a significant effect on the EV industry. In relation to nickel mining, Elon Musk disclosed that he might collaborate with businesses that have sufficient sustainable nickel mining to ensure that there will be adequate nickel for its batteries. Tesla has also already made agreements with Vale and the Indonesian government. The U.S. is running low on domestic nickel resources, and the nation's main nickel mine, the Eagle Mine in Michigan, is scheduled to close in 2025. This is being done in an attempt to find another source of nickel. Given that Indonesia has substantial nickel reserves, it was reported that Tesla had discussions with the government in 2020 about establishing a new nickel venture there. Additionally, less had happened after Investment Minister Bahlil Lahadalia announced earlier in May that Tesla had committed to constructing a battery and electric vehicle plant in the nation. But later in August, Luhut Panjaitan, the coordinating minister for maritime and investment affairs, declared that Tesla had inked a 5-year deal with Morowali and Sulawesi Island-based nickel processing businesses. Additionally, it was disclosed that Tesla and Vale have a robust collaboration to obtain nickel. However, the manufacturer has not yet verified this. Despite reports that Tanzania was supplying enough nickel, there weren't many transactions following this. The world's largest development-ready nickel sulfide deposit, Kabanga Nickel Limited, was trying to fund $1.35 billion for a huge mining project in Tanzania to help satisfy the nickel-hungry demands of electric car makers. In response, CEO Chris Showalter said that the business was ready to begin supplying nickel for Tesla batteries. Not much more was said about the story, despite the fact that it made multiple headlines. Do you believe that Tesla will be able to obtain enough nickel through these collaborations? Tell us in the comments below. High-energy density batteries, which are necessary for long-range electric vehicles, depend on nickel, and nickel-lithium batteries are the industry standard for high-performance EVs. Even though EV batteries only presently use 5% of the world's nickel supply, this percentage is rising more quickly than predicted. Furthermore, it's hard to predict what will happen given the rising cost of nickel. Prices rose by more than 16% in 2021, surpassing the $20,000 threshold and rising to a height not seen in more than 7 years. Analysts claim that nobody can predict with certainty how high the price will rise. Nonetheless, Tesla might have adequate choices for nickel mining in the upcoming months despite the limited supply of the metal. Canada leads the world in nickel production, possessing enough nickel reserves to power 10 million Tesla batteries. With almost 167,000 tons produced, the nation ranked 6th globally in 2020 nickel output, making up 6.7% of total production. Fortunately, Tesla is gaining traction in the nation's nickel mining industry little by bit. The massive Brazilian mining company Vale recently declared that it had an agreement with Tesla to provide nickel from its facilities in Canada. If such collaboration persists, Tesla may have no trouble obtaining enough nickel for its batteries. If nickel mining is effective, more electric vehicles will be produced, which might lead to an exponential growth in nickel supply in the upcoming years. A recent analysis estimates that by 2030, the world's automakers would have invested over $515 billion in the development and production of electric vehicles. According to the report, over 100 electric vehicle types are anticipated to be accessible to U.S. consumers by 2025. As the decade goes on, initial EV purchase prices should continue to drop, according to Platts analyst David Capetti. The analyst continued by projecting that by 2026, the cost of an EV battery will be less than $100 per kilowatt hour, making EVs more affordable than internal combustion engine vehicles, ICE, in the absence of subsidies. Furthermore, by 2030, EVs should be present in more markets, a development that should be made possible by government initiatives that encourage the use of EV vehicles. According to recent reports, the Californian government intends to phase out gas-powered vehicles and mandate that all new automobiles sold in the state by 2035 must run on electricity or hydrogen. If California continues down this path, other states will probably follow. The supply of nickel will undoubtedly rise as more Tesla vehicles are released, making investing in flying nickel stock, FLONF on OTC, a very profitable choice at the time. Tesla is firmly dedicated to bringing down the cost of manufacturing its vehicles, and securing its nickel supply will help with this. The company stands to gain monetarily from locating a nickel mining source, but it may also lay the groundwork for future mining operations of the vital components required to make electric vehicles.